Hey guys, what's going on? It's QwazyDog here, and because of you, Mr. Bumbles, I am now doing the tag of the person behind the game. So, this is basically a small segment where I'm going to tell you guys 10 random facts about me, QwazyDog, that you may or may not know. Starting off, let's hit number one. Now, number one, I don't even really know how to explain it or start it. But I'm a very shy and kind of self-conscious person. You've probably gathered that as you started with my channel if you've been with me for a while. My confidence has been boosting. I have been getting a lot more comfortable with the content and kind of how to steamroll with things on here. But in everyday life and growing up, yeah, it takes me a long time to how should I put it? And see, this is what I'm talking about. I kind of get all tongue-tied. But maybe to warm up to somebody, it takes me quite a while. I don't know why. I feel like a lot of the times I'm constantly being judged, and because of that, I create this wall, and sometimes I kind of shut down. It takes a while to overcome that or get over that. So there's fact number one, guys. In case you didn't know it, I'm super shy, and yeah, on to fact number two. Now, fact number two, I've kind of grown up a bubble boy. What I mean by that is there was very few things I was not allergic to. We've got every animal, bees, hay, mowed grass, just a lot of stuff. So allergy tests and stuff like that were a big thing when I was growing up. Severe asthma as well. I used to get hooked up to that Venmar, that big respirator, at least twice a year, breathe in that gross stale air. But now, a man in his late 20s, 27 to be exact, there's really only two ailments that continue to stay with me as I've aged, and that would be a severe egg allergy. Yes, eggs are in almost everything, which absolutely sucks, and my asthma. So, to combat both of those, we've got these. These are epinephrine needles in case I eat eggs and my tongue swells up and I can't breathe. These things, they save my life, so that's pretty cool. And then I've just got two inhalers. I've got salbutamol and Flovent. I don't need those a lot. Actually relying on these a lot more ever since I quit smoking, which is really weird. Beforehand, for 8 years, if I had an asthma attack, I'd just, suck on a cancer stick. That fixed me right up. Just kind of numbed my my airways and kind of made me forget that I was having an asthma attack. Now though, these are my vices. I've been smoke-free for probably a year and a half, and it feels great other than being short of breath sometimes, but that I'm sure will go away. A fun fact as well about an egg allergy, a lot of you guys may think, I don't even like eggs. Well, not only are eggs in a lot of food, guys, but if you've ever stepped on a rusty nail and got a tetanus shot, if you ever had a flu shot, meningitis shot, hepatitis needles, Twin Rex, I think that's what it's called for like the vacational sort of, you're going down south, you get an immunization. They all have eggs in them. So fun fact, I would die if I got immunizations to a lot of different things. So we're gonna segue on to number three. Now, number three is something I don't really feel that important for the first half of it. The second half, yeah, definitely important. But the first half is me and Flower Kitty. So I'm sure you guys gauge our relationship. I love the little squirt to death, but I am only stepdaddy. So a lot of my close friends and family members, obviously, they know that I didn't just, have a 2-year-old. But I have been in her life since she was about 2 or 2.5. I am not her biological father. The reason why I don't share this very often is I don't really feel that it's important. The label between dad and stepdad, I mean, it's I don't know, it's just a label, guys. I help raise her. I'm teaching her right and wrong. I get her ready for school. I take her to the parks, everything like that. She is my daughter minus the bloodline. So it's just a fact for you guys. I figured it was something I'd share. And then maybe 3B, the new baby. So Emma is going to be a very proud stepsister, I guess, to our little girl that we're gonna have mid-September, September 15th to be exact. So we're super excited for that. Again, that's kind of why I've been a little preoccupied and I haven't been doing daily videos, and sometimes I even miss the bi-daily. It's just because we're either doing some sort of painting or furniture build or doctor's appointments or something like that. I do work full-time. My girlfriend works full-time, you know, Flower Kitty had her school thing, so time has been kind of short here and there, so we are working around that, which brings us to number 4. Number 4 is where I live. So I'm very proud to say I am a homeowner. That was probably one of my greatest accomplishments in life, and it's something I did at the age of 25. I've worked very hard for a number of years. I'm proud to say I've never been unemployed. I've always found a way to either have a job or keep a job or something along those lines. So shortly after my 25th birthday, which was in May, we started the house hunt. 90 days, 3-month-ish marks after looking for houses and falling in love with the one we are currently in right now, we made the purchase. So I don't know, that's a big deal to me. I don't want to pay somebody else's mortgage. I want to pay my own. It's a little scary when stuff happens that I can't just rely on somebody else, but it hasn't happened yet. It's been almost 2 years, so that's cool. And we're gonna move on to, what do we got? Number 5. Number 5 is gonna be something along the lines of what Mistre Bumbles did, which is talking about some accidents that happened in my life. So I'm gonna highlight 2 actually. I've been in, and sad to say, like 6. I'm a kid that grew up in the country, and that's unfortunately what happened at times. Not a lot of them were really bad, but we are gonna highlight 2 that are both kind of a little bit bad and a little bit funny. Now, starting with the first one, I remember walking down the road at age 16 with my girlfriend, who was 15 at the time, and a good friend of mine pulled up in his father's truck and said, "Hey guys, guess what? I just got my license today. Do you want to hop in and we'll go for a drive?" So I mean, yeah, we're young kids, so we hopped in and went for a drive, and you know, he pulls over on a dirt road. He says, "You know what, QwazyDog, why don't you drive?" And I was like, "Oh man, are you sure? Like, this is your dad's truck?" And he says, "Yeah, go ahead. Take it for a spin." So we do. So we go, I get in the driver's seat, you know, go for a little cruise, all well and good. He then looks at my girlfriend and says, "Hey, you know what, Miss QwazyDog, why don't you take it for a drive?" And she says, "Well, you know, I'm only 15. I don't even have my beginners." He's like, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's all good. You know, this is a dirt road. It's pretty unpopulated. Go ahead." So she gets in the driver's seat and he says, "You know, why don't you spin the tires?" So she gives it a little spin and he says, no, you gotta, you know, put it to her, give it a big spin. So she's gripping on the wheel and she pushes down on the gas pedal, and all of a sudden the truck starts spinning out. And rather than let go of the gas pedal, she lets go of the steering wheel. And so she's going full tilt as fast as we can go with the accelerator down, and she's not steering. So the truck goes from straight, kicks out, and we start driving sideways in a ditch. Now, pretty soon there was a culvert, and for those who may not know what a culvert is, it's essentially the pipe that they build a road over top of to allow water and things like that to wash through if there's a ditch beside the road or a creek or anything like that. So the truck met a culvert and promptly flipped over it. So everything happened in slow motion, but basically what had happened was we were driving sideways, we'd hit the culvert, it popped up in the air, and the truck for a moment stood on the front grille before falling roof down, doing a full somersault. So we all blacked out. Kind of luckily, none of us were wearing our seatbelt. And the only reason why I say luckily is it was like one of those 3-seater trucks. So there was, you know, I was in the middle, and then my friend was in the passenger seat, and there's the headrests on these sides, and then the center normally doesn't have one. So when we got out, we realized that the top of the truck was crushed so much that it actually crushed the headrests. And I feel that, you know, if we were maybe strapped in, that would have been our heads. But it hit so hard and with so much force that it popped the door handles off the outside of the doors. It flung a bunch of tractor parts. Yes, I am from the country. Flung a whole bunch of tractor parts way out into the field. And it popped my shoes off. So that was one story that I wanted to share with Mr. Bumbles about my shoes flying off. And the second one, this is something that I forgot for many years, and I think it's because I blocked it out. But my mother reminded it, or retold it, I guess, and reminded me of it probably last year. So growing up, there was a school teacher that lived kind of up the road from me, up on the top of a mountain. Again, no exaggeration, I'm from the country. I lived at the bottom of a mountain. Not like a big mountain, but you know, just a mountain. Anyway, so we used to go up, we used to hang out, we used to play in this pool. Now, there was a day that I went up to my friend's house, which lived across the street from Mr. Kierstead, the teacher that had the pool. And, you know, we were playing around on Greg's trampoline and stuff like that. And his sister said, hey, if you guys want, I'll take you over to Mr. Kierstead's and you guys can play in the pool. Now, I didn't take any swim trunks or anything with me. I wasn't prepared to go in the pool, but, you know, who can pass up, ooh, a little bit of a whistle there. Who can pass up going into a pool? Not this kid. So I just kind of went in my skimpies. I went in my boxers. Boxers, at the end of the day, guys, they're just shorts with funny patterns on them. So anyway, I hopped in, I did my swimming thing, got all wet, got all cooled off, and it was time to go home for supper. It was like 5, 6 o'clock. So for some reason, I didn't want to put my pants back on. I think it was because I didn't want to get wet, or I didn't want my pants to get wet. So I thought, you know what? I'll just bike down the mountain as fast as I can. Nobody will really see me. I'll just be kind of a blur. I'll make it home, because again, there was like the mountain, and then there was a gas station here, and then 2 houses down from the gas station is where I lived. So that's what I did. I hopped on my bike, I put on my helmet, I put on my shoes, and no pants and no shirt, and I just started cooking her down this hill. And I mean, to this day, I don't know how fast I was going. It was a little 21 speed bike. I was probably like, I don't know, 12, maybe even younger, maybe like 10. Anyway, so I thought it would be a good idea to cut through the gas station. So I go to cut in, and where I'm from, there's a lot of national parks and stuff like that. So it brings a lot of tourism in. And in the summer, there are a lot of people who maybe don't frequent the town that would normally just drive through. And anyway, as I go to cut through the gas station, out comes this big Harley Davidson bike, and this big burly guy, and like his girlfriend on the back, and he's walking his bike out to the road, and I have no way to stop. So I'm coming down the mountain, he's coming out of the gas station, and I T-bone this guy on this beautiful Harley Davidson on a bicycle. On a 12-year-old or 10-year-old on a 21 speed bicycle T-bones a Harley Davidson. Now, I broke the mirror, I bent the handlebars, I bent the exhaust, I broke the guy's foot on the impact, but I had hit it so hard that I had flown over the bike, probably like a good, I don't know, maybe 10 feet, just sailed over the thing. And the tire, when I went to walk my bike home, was like concaved way in, so it's like a crescent moon. I had hit the thing so goddamn hard. But what makes the story really good is not only was that number 2, or the second accident that I lost my shoes, but I was also left crying in the parking lot of a gas station in nothing but bright yellow Joe Boxer boxers. You remember those ones? They were like, they had the smiley face with the eyes and the mouth with the tongue hanging out on the ass. So that's yeah, that's what happened. And to cherry on top it, that's where my mom worked too. So I was left half blacked out, crying on my back in my boxers in this gas station parking lot. And when somebody goes out to get an attendant, or goes in to get an attendant, out comes my mom. So I'm alive, at least. But those are 2 really bad accidents that I had that are very memorable, both where I lost my shoes. Actually, I don't think I finished the first one. As a side note, none of us got hurt. But the accident was so bad that my buddy called his parents, and they came and picked us up and took us back to their place. And in the time it took to pick us up and make sure we were okay, somebody found the accident, and the accident was so bad that they called the cops, and the cops called the coroner to check the vehicle because they were too scared to go to it. I don't know how we weren't hurt, but it was an extremely bad accident. Lightheartedness on that accident and sort of more on unfortunate news is not only did my buddy get his license that day, but because my girlfriend at the time was 15, she couldn't claim that she was the driver, or else insurance wouldn't cover the truck, and it was his father's brand new truck. So he claimed that he was driving. He got dinged for failure to report an accident, leaving the scene of an accident, and like something like driving or unsafe driving conditions. So he lost his license the day he got it and had to wait a year to get it again. So he did not like us very much. So again, 2 accidents, both in which where I lost my shoes, both very memorable, and luckily I made it out unscathed for both of them. So that's super cool, which will take us to number 6. Number 6 is still going to be a down home story, and it's basically my worst job. So when I was probably, I'd like to say 15 or 16, I got a job with the village for village maintenance, and it was a cushy gig, guys. It was like 8 to 5 throughout the summer. It was a student job that paid extremely well. It was tax-free because it was for the provincial government. I'm in Canada, by the way, in case you didn't get that already or you didn't know that. But I was just kind of mowing lawns, doing painting, building dugouts, things like that. It was awesome, except for Tuesdays. Tuesdays were garbage day, and the maintenance man was also the garbage man. Now, our community was so small, we, 1, did not separate garbage, and 2, we did not have a garbage truck. What we did have was a big 1-ton truck with a big 10-foot cage on the top. And what I did was I stood on the back and hung onto the cage. We'd stop, driveway to driveway. I'd grab the garbage, I'd sling it up into the truck. And I can still remember the girl I worked for the very first day. Her name was Heather. And I said, Heather, the garbage is getting kind of full. Like it's almost gonna fall over. What do I do? And she says, this is your poking stick. And it was literally like a wooden broom handle with like a nail attached to the bottom. And what I had to do was I had to scale the side of the garbage truck, get into the back of it, and start like stabbing the garbage bags and stomping on them to let all of the air out, to compress them, because the truck, unlike a regular garbage truck, didn't have the big, like the compressor mechanism. It had me. So yeah, that was every Tuesday, and it fucking sucked. The nice thing that I don't think I've really ever admitted, and Heather, if you're watching this, which you shouldn't be, but if you are, I'm sorry, but every day when you took the truck to the dump, which took you 1 hour both ways, plus you stopped for lunch, plus you cleaned the truck, so when you were gone for like 4 hours and I was supposed to be working, I went back to the maintenance shed and I had a nap every Tuesday and got paid for it. I'm sorry. From the worst job, let's go to kind of what I've been doing since school. So I graduated high school in 2006. I graduated actually with honors. So I had like a 92, 93 average, which was really cool. I'm pretty proud of that. It's something I don't mention very often. I also got accepted into college for refrigeration and air conditioning technician. Essentially what that would be, if by chance I had followed through with that, would have been either air conditioning maintenance or installation, or working at a hospital, taking a look at gauges and pipes and this and that. After high school, I had got a job within a week at a call center about an hour away from my parents' house, and I got the first taste of money. I had a car payment, I needed gas, everything like that. So for some reason I felt like that job was like, it was the job. Like it was mosquito. It was a good source of money, and that's what I wanted to do for a little while, and I wanted to take a year off school. So I ended up, declining that option. I got accepted and I was like, no, I'll do it next year. Next year came, I had applied, and I thought, you know what, I don't think I want to do that as a career. So I stuck it out in that call center, and that's where I worked for, I think, 3 years. So I did technical support for ADSL, or I don't think it's analog digital. Anyway, it's internet that comes through the phone jacks for a company called Bell in Canada. I did that for quite a while. I had worked on a campaign for Microsoft as well, and then within my first year they put me into training. So I actually was in charge of the training and the mentorship of, let's say, 24 people over the course of a month, reoccurring for 2 years, and I loved it. I met a lot of cool people, and I loved teaching. I loved training. It helped me a lot with a lot of my confidence issues and things like that. Having a position of authority made me a little bit more comfortable in some scenarios. But I had gotten an opportunity to move out west. I'm in the Maritimes myself, again in Canada, and out west is kind of where the money is. So at the early age of, I think, 19 or 20, I figured I'd go out west, I'd make a load of money, I'd come back home, I'd buy a house, and then all would be well. So out I went, out west. When I got there, the job that I had lined up, they laid everybody off. So I couldn't get that. So I was stuck getting a job where I could walk to, and that was at the local Staples, which is like an Office Depot store. So that's where I worked as a technical consultant, or like a technical manager, for about a year. Which was fine. It was great. It wasn't the money I was looking for, but I was stuck in this cycle of me and my girlfriend at the time had broken up. I was renting a room with like 4 other people in this big house for like $1,000 a month. It was ridiculous, but people make money out there. Not me, I only made like $13 an hour, but other people made money. So cost of living was extremely high. So I was stuck in this again, revolving loop of, you know, I wanted to make big money, but to make big money, I needed to first, you know, get a car and be able to travel. But that money was spent with the cost of living to live, to try to get that car, and then that happened for let's say like a year. So finally I scrounged up all my peanuts and I drove back home. It took me 5 full days, 3 of which I slept in the car, 1 of which I got a hotel. But I made it home, and then I worked a variety of retail gigs. I did a good stint at Future Shop, which is, or was actually, a subsidiary of Best Buy here in Canada. So I worked there for, I think it was 3 years. Near the tail end, I actually also worked at my current job, which I've been at 5 years this October, which is Rogers Communications. It's, again, a technical support role in a telecommunications technical support company. I'm an inbound analyst. People call me analyst. People call in with troubles. I listen to those troubles and hopefully try to fix them, as long as they're related to my job, and you'd be surprised how many troubles aren't. But I doubled up those jobs for a while, and it really burnt me out. I was doing like a 9 to 5 at one, and then like a 6 to 2 at the other, and then I'd sleep barely, and then I'd go to work. But it helped me get to where I am now, and I'm very proud to say that I can hold that one job and have my house, and, you know, me and my girlfriend just bought a car and things like that. And it's a nice feeling to be able to sustain the lifestyle and kind of the toys that I have right now for this YouTube thing that I'm doing for you guys. So that was number 6 being my worst job, number 7 being kind of the rest of the jobs that I had and where I am right now. Now we're gonna go to number 8, which is kind of an embarrassing note, and it comes along with the self-consciousness and a little bit of the shyness and self-worth issues that I have sometimes as well. And it's to say that, you know, my girlfriend's like 7.5 months pregnant, and I have gained more weight than she has during this pregnancy. I went from 155 to just 2 pounds shy of 200. I can attribute that from, you know, lack of sleep, where we work nights, and kindergarten came up for Flower Kitty, which is something that we weren't used to. So a very, very short sleep schedule for my metabolism. I was also put off work for 1 month, which I'm going to get to in number 9, where I couldn't do anything. I was going to the gym for like a month, and then I had to stop that, and I never quite got back onto that. So all of those things attributed to me being almost 200 pounds today. So hopefully that's something I'll address in my personal life. I can get over it. It's weight, and nobody's judging it. But personally for me, I don't quite feel 100% comfortable, and I don't like that feeling. But we're gonna go right to number 9, and number 9 is what happened to this guy in March. I had a little bit of a hissy fit. I'm not gonna lie, it's a problem that I have sometimes with my anger, and my knuckles met a wall. The wall won, and it resulted in, I don't know if you guys can see it, I'm now down to like 7 knuckles. Does that make sense? Yeah, 7 knuckles. Long story short, angry, punch, ow. I thought I had dislocated it. So when I looked at my hand afterwards, you know, these 2 fingers were just dangling and these ones were straight out. So what did I do? I went to my kitchen, and I thought, I've seen this on TV all the time. You know, people can just put their finger back together. So I'm pulling and like grinding my hand back and forth and things like that. It wasn't dislocated, guys. I had actually broke my metacarpal in 2 places and rotated this bone 30 degrees inward. So all I was doing was just mortar and pestle grinding my bones together to make sure they didn't heal right. And again, if we can get another shot of that, no more knuckle for me because of it. So I was in a full kind of cast to here, and these 2 fingers were locked together, and these 2 are off to the side. Now, where I work, typing and using a mouse for my entire work day, 5 days a week, I was put off on medical leave. And it was kind of cool. I got to, you know, sit home, and I taught myself how to play Destiny by like puffing my gut out and like resting the controller here and then fiddling with this shit. And I bought thumb grips to make sure, because I had too much cast material right here, so I could reach my thumb in farther and use the analog stick. So it was a long month, I'm not gonna lie. It was like 4 or 6 weeks. I also had a recurring battle with my insurance team, and lo and behold, afterwards I received a $0 paycheck because they said I wasn't covered. Now I think my last calculation was like 14 phone calls, 42 emails, you know, 4 trips to the hospital in the ER. I finally got it figured out. I finally got paid, but still no knuckle. So that's my broken hand story. I've definitely learned my lessons, guys. Words when you're angry, none of these. And I guess number 10 would be kind of my proudest gaming moment. It's nothing that I did, but a lot of people may have that story where they're like, oh man, you know, I got this game and I waited in line for it and I met so many friends, things like that. But one of my most memorable things, and this was back in, was it 2005? It must have been that the Xbox came out. Anyway, I think they had it in the States too, but I'm sure you guys remember the Be First to Play contest, where if you ate a bag of Doritos or drank a Pepsi, there was that little code and you entered it online, and every hour somebody won an Xbox. Well, that was me. So this guy won an Xbox 360 before they were released. I actually got it about 2 weeks early. They sent me a carrying case, a t-shirt, some pens, some coasters, some coupons for chips, some coupons for pop. I got Cameo and Most Wanted and a second controller. So it was like a good $1,500 worth of stuff. And again, 2 weeks early before anybody else in retail could get the consoles. The sad part about it was I got Most Wanted after. They shipped that separately, but I wasn't digging Cameo. And this was around the time that Halo 2 was out. And that was my go-to game. And if you guys remember, the Xbox 360 was backwards compatible. Oh wow, okay, so I must be long-winded because as you can see, I tried to edit my video and realized I talked for more than half an hour and the camera cut out the audio. So to finish that last thought, again, I got the 360, I had sold my original Xbox because my 360 I knew was coming. So I went and I put in my copy of Halo 2. That was my jam. I loved that online game. It was kind of one of the first games that started me on FPSs, but lo and behold, I couldn't play it. And it's because I got the console 2 weeks early and Microsoft hadn't released the update or the patch for the backwards compatibility. So I was left with Cameo, a game I really didn't like, and my favorite game staring me in the face every day with no ability to play it. So kind of sucked, but whatever, that's life. I ended up enjoying it a little bit after. Ever since then though, and going through like 8 Xboxes, taking really good care of them, but still having them break, I've migrated to the PlayStation. I really like it. I like the game selection just a hair more. And I'm starting to dig this PC game thing. It's something I started getting into when I built my rig last February. I never ever had the chance to do it before because I was always kind of into just like media-oriented laptops, nothing that could play games, and I'm really liking the content that's out there for PC as well because I have the horsepower to play it. So that was the 10 things that you guys didn't know about me. Thank you again to Mistre Bumbles for the nomination for the person behind the game hashtag. Now I'm going to challenge you guys the same way he did with all of his followers and all of his viewers. I challenge everybody watching this video, or if you're one of those people that somehow like watch the first little bit of it and then you skip a little bit and then you watch the end of it to say you watch the whole thing, but really I check my analytics and I know that you didn't watch the whole thing. If you've made it to this point where you're getting my challenge, I challenge you to tell me 10 things about you that I didn't know before, or 10 facts that makes you absolutely unique and your own person. I want to know more about you. You guys know a lot about me. I've been doing this thing for about 2 months now. I think I've been a little bit personal with you guys, so I'd love to learn more about my viewers and see what's up in your lives, what makes you guys tick. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm not going to steal any more of your time. I know it's valuable to you, and you guys probably get 15 other YouTube videos that you want to get to and some awesome people you got to watch, and I've been fucking rambling along, but thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave me a comment below. I love reading those. I love interacting with every single one of you. You can also hit me up on Twitter if you feel so inclined. I greatly appreciate if you would share this. That button that looks like this right here, it's super important to me. It means the world, and when you guys click that, I get notified and it makes me smile. It makes me happy. It makes me do a happy dance, and my girlfriend judges me because she doesn't know what's going on. So again, thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. I am QwazyDog. These were 10 things that makes me me, and I hope to see your videos soon. Take care, guys. Hey guys, what's going on? It's QwazyVlog here, and I thought I'd bring back just another quick video, give you guys an update, give you guys some shoutouts, and just have some fun. Also, I got a haircut. Alright guys, welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in.